All right, so for this podcast, I'm going to be General Manager Realistic Randy for your Minnesota Vikings. We're going to do a 5-round mock draft thanks to thedraftnetwork.com. And the reason we're going to cap it off at 5 is because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know about dudes that are going to get taken in the 6th or 7th rounds. I just don't care to do that. Now, I think we can all agree that the biggest areas of need for the Vikings heading into the draft, in no particular order, by the way, offensive tackle, both offensive guards, thanks to Josh Klein getting cut, wide receiver, defensive tackle, and cornerback. Now, I've seen a couple of takes from draft experts lamenting something along the lines of Everson Griffin, he's a free agent. He may not re-sign with the Vikings. And if that is the case, look out. Vikings, they've got a need at defensive end in the draft as well. And I understand from the outside looking in why you may feel that way, but at the same time, we've got a guy by the name of Ifeadi Odenigbo who I am more than confident will take over the job full-time and can produce at a legit level full-time. He had a very impressive season in 2019. Still, if you think the Vikings should go DN edge rusher in the draft, do it in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round. Otherwise, day 1 or day 2, we just have more pressing issues to address in the early parts of this draft. So at 22, this really depends on if CJ Henderson is available or not. Because in the first round, I'm looking at it, whether it's 22, 25, no particular order, cornerback and offensive tackle. And CJ Henderson, who would have been my number 22 pick, because the guy that I'm going after, Josh Jones, out of Houston, left tackle, I'm more than confident that he will be available at 25. But CJ Henderson, he is gone. Now, the next cornerback that I'm looking at is AJ Terrell. Obviously, he's still going to be there, but there's no point at taking him at 22. He should be available at 25. So with that said, I'm going to go Josh Jones out of Houston. So you've addressed the left tackle for this franchise for the future. And now at 25, AJ Terrell is still there out of Clemson. Bam. So at 22 and 25 in the first round, you address offensive tackle and cornerback. And I know there's quite a few folks that think we should go wide receiver in the first round, but think of it like this. If you draft wide receiver in the first round, you are essentially using the heart of the Stephon Diggs trade to take a wideout. And forever, fair or unfair, we're going to look at this guy and say, you better match or outdo what Stephon Diggs did here. Fair or unfair. Otherwise, if he doesn't meet up to those standards, it will be a catastrophic failure. Not only that, there's a wide receiver that I'm targeting in the 4th round, can step in and be a day 1 starter of WR2 next to Adam Thielen. Next, in the 2nd round, pick number 58, we're going to look at defensive tackle. And 2 of the guys on my list, Justin Matabuke out of Texas A&M and Raekwon Davis out of Alabama is available. I'm going to go with Raekwon Davis. He is just an absolute stud. I don't think you could go wrong with either pick, but I think Raekwon Davis may turn out to be the better player. So I'm going to go with him in the 2nd round. Now, in the 3rd round, we are going to look at interior offensive linemen. And I thought about doing this as a separate podcast, interior offensive linemen, but I said, fuck it. I'll just incorporate it in this mock draft. Now, Robert Hunt, he's not here. I'm assuming he got picked up earlier. I've seen him come up a lot as far as, hey, he could work out for the Vikings, but out of Louisiana with the Raging Cajuns, he played right tackle, if I'm not mistaken, last year. Now, his basic skill set, pass blocking, excellent. Run blocking, not bad. The basic skill sets of an offensive lineman, he checks off the boxes, but in terms of the intricacies of the zone blocking, that's where Robert Hunt, I don't think it's a good fit for the Vikings because he can't really get out in space, lock onto his assignment, or identify his assignment and stick his man at the same time. He really, really struggles with that. So with that said, I'm looking at Logan Stenberg out of Kentucky because he's an excellent run blocker. He can pop and move to the 2nd level very fluidly. And zone blocking, this man can get out in space and he gets the fuck after it. Also, now, as far as evaluating his pass blocking, it's really unfair. You really can't do it because the Kentucky Wildcats, they never pass the ball. I shit you not. I looked this up and I found it very interesting that the Kentucky Wildcats had the 6th fewest pass attempts in the entire nation last year. That's absurd. So on one hand, you may think Logan Stenberg, oh, I don't know, he may be a raw product as far run blocking is great, but pass blocking, I don't know, I may pass on him. But at the same time, based on how the Vikings operate their offense, they don't pass the ball either. 3rd fewest pass attempts in the league last year. This may be the perfect fit. So honestly, I'm looking at Logan Stenberg. He is a day one starter at left guard. I have no doubt about that. So I'm going to take Logan Stenberg, and then we can look at the remaining players, best players available for the 2nd, 3rd round pick, thanks to that compensatory pick. And you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for Rick Spielman. You could maybe say, let's go after a safety. Let's maybe take best player available, but I'm sorry. If Rick Spielman didn't make the move to cut Josh Klein, this is what the offensive line of what I expected it to be in 2020. Goodness. Riley Reiff or Trent Williams or someone in the draft at left tackle, someone to replace Pat Elflein, Garrett Bradbury, Josh Klein, and Brian O'Neill. Unfortunately, you cut Josh Klein. So we're in this situation right now where you need another guard. Drew Samia, he may be the guy, but it doesn't hurt to have someone compete against this guy. And I'm looking at Shane Lemieux out of Oregon. This dude is a fucking beast, bro. I shit you not. He looks like a fucking statue. The way he moves for his size, he is incredibly light and fast on his feet. His run blocking, he moves and pops, move and pop, move and pop. His pass blocking is just as good. He'll either stick you in your tracks or he'll spin you in place. This dude is the real deal. He's an enforcer. Him, along with Josh Jones, along with Logan Stenberg, and you've got a mean-ass offensive line that's down for a fight. So I'm taking Shane Lemieux with my 2nd, 3rd round pick in this draft. Now for the 4th round, I'm going to go wide receiver because there's a guy that I really... Tyler Johnson. That's my guy. Let's see if he lasts. Let's see if he lasts to pick 132. Because Van Jefferson, he's gone too. So Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota, not flashy, but route running, hands, his ability to run, his yards after the catch, all stellar. And quite honestly, this whole idea, oh, we need a star receiver. No, we don't. No, we don't. If we're a run-first team, what the hell you need a star receiver for? You drove one away. No sense in getting another one just to piss him off too. And besides, Adam Thielen, he'll probably be leading in targets. Number one, you've got what could turn out to be the top tight end tandem in the league with Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith Jr. They should share the 2nd and 3rd targets on the team. And then the next guy after that should be the wide receiver 2. So Adam Thielen, the 2 tight ends, the wide receiver 2 should be 4th in targets. And I think Tyler Johnson, for what you're asking of that position, I think he fits the bill. So I'm taking Tyler Johnson with my 4th round pick. And then we move in the 5th round. Let's see who's available overall. Goodness. You've got Devin Duvernay. I know a lot of people like him. But at this point in time, what's the fucking point? I'm looking at wide receiver again, and my guy, Antonio Gandy Golden. You can't fuck up with this. He's a 5th round pick. Who cares? But the upside with this dude, like I said, he could be the steal of this draft. I'm going to take him, and that will complete the entire 5-round mock draft of this simulation. I address all the needs for this team, the biggest holes, offensive tackle, 2 offensive guards, wide receiver, cornerback has all been addressed. Now, obviously, whatever happens with Anthony Harris, we may need a safety too, so we'll see how that works out if they trade Anthony Harris. My guess is they'll probably end up keeping him. So that is the end of the draft. Josh Jones, A.J. Terrell, Raekwon Davis, Logan Stenberg, Shane Lemieux, Tyler Johnson, Antonio Gandy Golden. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Who would you take? What is your mock draft? Let me know your results in the mock draft that you did. And we do this at least once a week. Mediocre Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check me out on Twitter at realistic_Randy. Facebook at Realistic Randy. We'll see you next time.